Here's the news at 6. First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu describes Ibom Towers project as beacon of fruitful alliance between Lagos and Akwa Ibom states. Senate begins screening of 7 ministerial nominees. On the foreign scene, Spanish floods claim about 62 lives. And in sport, Nigeria Football Federation applauds gallant flamingos. Now the details. I am John Omoaka. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu described the Ibom Towers project as a beacon of the fruitful alliance between Lagos and Akwa Ibom states. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of Ibom Towers in Victoria Island, Governor Sanwo-Olu said it would create a unique space that encourages business, investment, vibrant community life, and embodiment of a collective vision for Nigeria's growth, driven by creativity, collaboration, and a commitment to excellence.
This is what the government is supposed to be. We're supposed to do peer review. We're supposed to look at where you have comparative advantage and utilize that comparative advantage to the benefit and to the betterment of your people. And so indeed, we are happy that Akwa Ibom State and the Akwa Ibom government has made this decision. The investment will be safe. We can assure you that your investment has received all of the fiscal planning approval without missing out on any.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Omoaka, who performed the groundbreaking ceremony of the residential 18-story high-rise apartment block, noted that the building is purely an investment for future internally generated revenue, a store value, and the preservation of the commonwealth of the citizens of Akwa Ibom State, funded by the state.
I'd like to assure you, sirs, your excellencies, that your investments will not be in vain. We're now looking at the adjusted Adeogun property, and we believe that we can make good money out of that estate. Very soon, we'll approach the House of Assembly so we can turn that property to high-rise office buildings that will increase our state IGR.
Governor Eno called on government at all levels not to depend on taxation but look inward to generate revenue, especially the real estate sector. Lagos State government has restated the importance of transparency, competitiveness, and accountability in all public procurement by ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs of the state in all circumstances. Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Lawal Pedro stated this at the 2024 Procurement Summit organized by the Lagos State Public Procurement Agency with the theme Ensuring Best Practices in Public Procurement in a Dwindling Economy. Pedro, who was represented by the Director, Commercial Law, Folashade Thomas Orogan, urged stakeholders to desist from unlawful actions which can bring the state government into disrepute and cast doubts on the integrity of the public procurement system of the state. On his part, Chairman, House Committee on Public Procurement, Samuel Akpata, while stressing that economic challenges are no justification compromising due process in public procurement, pledged to support and complement efforts of the agency in ensuring best practices. In his welcome address, Director General of the Public Procurement Agency, Fatai Onafowote, explained that the summit is designed to profile practicable solutions and strategies that will enable the state government deliver dividends of democracy to the citizens without compromising quality or circumventing due process in public procurement, even at a time of macroeconomic instability. Lagos State government has debunked the news circulated in sections of the media titled Sanwo-Olu sues EFCC over alleged plan to arrest, prosecute him after tenure. Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Lawal Pedro clarified that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu did not sue or briefed any legal practitioner to file a suit on his behalf concerning the subject matter. Pedro noted that it is disingenuous for the governor, who enjoys immunity as conferred on him by the Constitution and has almost 3 years ahead of him, to brief any lawyer on this kind of matter. He explained that EFCC is not investigating the governor and has never invited him or threatened the arrest of any member of his staff. Pedro enjoined media organizations to be wary of the kind of reports they entertain and publish on their platforms in order to mislead the public. Now to the rest of the stories. The Senate has commenced screening of several ministerial nominees named last Wednesday by President Bola Tinubu. The upper legislative house began with Netawe Yewatda, the nominee appointed to replace Betta Edu as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Other appointees for screening are Bianca Udumegu Ojukwu, nominated as the Minister of State Affairs, Foreign Affairs. Megari Digyadi, nominated as the Minister of Labor and Employment. Jumoke Oduwole, nominated as the Minister of Industry. Idi Maiha as Minister for the newly created Livestock Development Ministry. Yusuf Atta as the Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, with Suwaiba Ahmad as Minister of State, Education. Last Wednesday, President Bola Tinubu sacked 5 ministers, reassigned 10 ministers to new ministerial portfolios, and appointed 7 new ministers for Senate confirmation. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has commenced a unified rapid assessment of the 2024 flood impacts in collaboration with the state emergency management agencies and development partners nationwide. NEMA announced this on its official X handle, stating that the joint assessment aims to harmonize data collected by NEMA's Emergency Operations Center with information from partners to produce a nationally verified report on the disaster's effects. The Director General of NEMA, Zubaida Umar, said the agency is working alongside State Emergency Management Agency, SEMAS, the Nigerian Red Cross Society, the International Organization for Migration, and the United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Umar added that in line with best practices, the assessment will also allow affected communities to provide input on how they can be supported in their recovery efforts. Now to foreign news. Local authorities report that flash flooding has killed at least 72 people in the southeast of Spain, while rescue teams are working to find those feared missing. King Felipe IV of Spain speaks on enormous destruction to infrastructure and warns that there is difficulty assessing some areas. Earlier, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez promised residents in affected areas they would not be abandoned, but warned that the devastating episode is not over. Footage uploaded to social media overnight showed floodwaters causing chaos in some areas, knocking down bridges and dragging cars through the streets. Now sports. General Secretary of Nigeria Football Federation Mohammed Sanusi has formally welcomed the Under-17 Women National Team, Flamingos, from the 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup Finals in the Dominican Republic, saying the ladies put up a good fight and need to be encouraged despite quarter-final elimination by the United States of America. The Flamingos delegation returned to Nigeria on Tuesday after a 2-0 defeat in the hands of USA in Santiago de los Calabaros ended their race in the tournament. The Flamingos have sparked New Zealand 4-1, routed Ecuador 4-0, and pipped host nation Dominican Republic 1-0 in overhauling their Group A. The FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Dominican Republic will be the last to be played on biennial basis, with the competition to be played yearly from next year, and Morocco to host the first 5 editions. And that's our news at 6. But just before we go, always carry out proper and adequate checks on your vehicles before setting out. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration supplied 86,000 dual furniture sets to 775 public schools? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has described the Ibom Towers project as a beacon of the fruitful alliance between Lagos and Akwa Ibom states. The Senate has commenced screening of several ministerial nominees named last Wednesday by President Bola Tinubu. We also told you that local authorities report that flash flooding has killed at least 72 people in the southeast of Spain, where rescue teams are working to find those feared missing. And in sport, General Secretary of Nigeria Football Federation, Mohammed Sanusi, has formally welcomed the Under-17 Women National Team, Flamingos, from the 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup Finals in the Dominican Republic, saying the ladies put up a good fight and need to be encouraged despite quarter-final elimination by the United States of America. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Kayode Mafolashiri. I am John Omoaka. Thank you very much for listening.